To begin with, we will remove our chemical tubes and fill them with the appropriate chemical. Let's start with our soda lime tube, which is located closest to you. To remove the tube from the console, you need to unscrew the bottom screw by turning in a counterclockwise direction. And then the tube will come away from the case. If you look at the label on the tube, it tells you what chemical should be filled in that tube. This particular tube is your CO2 scrub tube, which is filled with soda lime. You'll also notice a warning on this tube that indicates which side of the cap should be opened. And it says we should only open from the bottom end of the cap. And the reason is we have filters that are inside the chemical tube, and when there's chemical filling the tube, if you unscrew the cap from the top, you can actually shear off the filters. So as not to have to replace those filters, always remove the cap from the bottom. So go ahead and remove your cap, and you'll find your chemicals in your extra box in your spare parts kit, and you want to make sure to use the one that's labeled soda lime. When you first open the soda lime, it will be sealed, and that's to keep out any stray CO2 from getting into the bottle. And go ahead and fill the columns until the chemical is about 1 millimeter below the threads. And right after you fill your chemicals, you should always tighten your bottles to make sure that no CO2 or water leaks into your respective columns of chemical. Before you put your end cap on, it's a good idea to tap the column with your cap, and that makes sure that if you have had any debris or dust get in the threads, that it will be dislodged before the cap is placed on the column. And the importance of that is due to this O-ring. We want to make sure that this O-ring is compressed when we put the cap on. That ensures that we have a good seal on this column. If there's dirt and debris in the threads, over time it will feel like the column is tight when you put your bottom on, but it actually won't be sealing unless that O-ring is compressed. So it's a good idea just to maintain good maintenance of these columns by making sure that those threads stay nice and clean. Once you've finished filling the soda lime tube, double check and make sure you should have O-rings located on the hose barbs, and these then attach to the console. So go ahead and reattach this tube, tightening on the lower knob, and then let's fill our desiccant tube. Again, you only want to open this tube by the bottom. And you want to fill this tube so the chemical is about 1 millimeter below the threads. And again, it's a good idea to tap the cap before putting the bottom on and tighten the bottom. In addition, you want to check to make sure your O-rings are around your hose barbs, and then you're ready to reattach it to the console.